From Uruk to Çatalhöyük, these first cities represent humanity's greatest transformation, turning scattered tribes of hunter-gatherers into the complex urban civilizations we know today. This is the story of our species' most dramatic leap forward, from wandering nomads to city builders in just a few thousand years. For 99% of human existence, we lived in small bands, following herds and seasonal fruits across vast landscapes. Then, around 12,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. The last ice age ended, and in that warming world, a revolution began that would change everything. The Neolithic Revolution, a term coined by archaeologist V. Gordon Childe in 1936, wasn't just about learning to grow crops. It was about learning to live together in unprecedented numbers, creating the first permanent settlements that would eventually become the world's first cities. But what exactly makes a city? It's more complex than you might think. Archaeologists debate whether it's continuous habitation, urban planning, population density, or specialized labor that defines a true city. Some settlements were abandoned and rebuilt multiple times, while others maintained unbroken occupation for millennia. This question of definition shapes how we understand which settlements deserve the title of first city. The transformation began in a region that would become known as the Fertile Crescent, bounded by the Mediterranean Sea to the west and the Persian Gulf to the east. As temperatures rose, wild wheat and barley began flourishing in this landscape. The Natufians, a pre-Neolithic people, started building permanent houses rather than seasonal shelters. They were still hunter-gatherers, but they were taking the first crucial steps towards settled life. But perhaps the most revolutionary development in this region was Göbekli Tepe, built around 9,500 BCE in southeastern Anatolia. This monumental site features massive stone pillars arranged in circles, decorated with intricate carvings of animals and symbols. What makes Göbekli Tepe extraordinary is that it was constructed by hunter-gatherers before the advent of agriculture. This challenges our traditional understanding that farming came first and monuments followed. This suggests that the drive to create permanent gathering places may have actually preceded and perhaps even motivated the agricultural revolution. Around 9600 to 9000 BCE, something remarkable appeared in this region: Jericho. Archaeological evidence reveals 23 distinct layers of civilization at this site. Traces of Mesolithic hunters are carbon dated to about 9000 BCE. But Jericho's claim to fame goes beyond its age. Around 8000 BCE, its inhabitants constructed the world's first known city wall. This wasn't just a village anymore. It was a fortified community that understood the need for collective defense. Moving north into Anatolia, we encounter Çatalhöyük. UNESCO now recognizes it as the most significant human settlement documenting early agricultural life. What made Çatalhöyük extraordinary wasn't just its size, but its revolutionary architecture and social organization. The residents of Çatalhöyük built their homes differently from anything we see today. Houses shared walls with neighboring residences, creating a honeycomb-like structure with no streets separating them. To move around the settlement, people walked on rooftops, entering their homes through openings in the ceiling. This design created an incredibly dense urban environment where privacy was redefined and community cooperation was essential. Even more fascinating was their relationship with death. Instead of establishing cemeteries, the people of Çatalhöyük buried their dead beneath the floors of their homes. Often they would remove the skull, cover it with clay and ochre to recreate facial features. These reminders of ancestors were passed down through generations, creating a literal foundation of memory beneath every household. What's remarkable about early Çatalhöyük is what archaeologists haven't found. There are no monumental temples, no grand palaces, no evidence of a ruling class. This suggests a remarkably egalitarian society where social hierarchies hadn't yet emerged. As archaeologist Ian Hodder notes, this was a society where the question of whether you were a man or a woman did not determine the life you could lead. While these early settlements were developing in the north, the true revolution was taking shape in southern Mesopotamia. The Ubaid period, from around 6500 to 4000 BCE, established the technological foundations for what would follow. Around 5400 BCE, Building on these Ubaid innovations, the Sumerians founded Eridu near the Persian Gulf and the mouth of the Euphrates River. Eridu was characterized by irrigation canals, reed huts, and mud brick buildings, the technological foundation that would support much larger urban centers. But it was Uruk that truly earned the title of the world's first city. By 4000 to 3200 BCE, during what archaeologists call the Uruk period, this settlement underwent what can only be described as an urban revolution. Uruk grew from a collection of agricultural villages into something entirely new, a true urban center with complex bureaucracy, military organization, and stratified society. By 3200 BCE, Uruk had become the largest settlement in southern Mesopotamia, possibly in the entire world. Covering approximately 250 hectares, nearly a square mile, it housed between 50,000 and 80,000 people at its height. This was unprecedented human density, requiring entirely new forms of social organization. The city was dominated by massive mud brick buildings, decorated with intricate mosaics of painted clay cones embedded in the walls. Extraordinary works of art adorned public spaces. According to tradition, King Gilgamesh ordered the construction of a massive wall around the city, though whether he was a historical figure or legendary hero remains debated. What we know for certain is that around 2700 BCE, Uruk was surrounded by impressive fortifications that protected this urban experiment. Uruk's greatest innovation may have been administrative. Around 3400 BCE, the city developed a sophisticated bureaucracy with specialist scribes. These administrators created hundreds of small, sun-dried clay tablets incised with symbols that represent the earliest known writing system. These proto-cuneiform tablets recorded economic matters, the management of workers, land, animals, and agricultural produce, often in enormous numbers. By 3200 BCE, these early symbols had evolved into cuneiform, the world's first true writing system. This wasn't just record-keeping, it was the birth of recorded history. For the first time, human thoughts, laws, stories, and administrative decisions could be preserved beyond the lifespan of their creators. The Sumerian achievement in Mesopotamia wasn't occurring in isolation. Across the ancient world, other civilizations were making their own urban breakthroughs. Around 7000 BCE, Mehrgar was founded on the Kachi Plain in what is now Pakistan. This settlement shows some of the earliest evidence of farming in South Asia, and would eventually contribute to one of history's most sophisticated urban civilizations. By 3000 BCE, the Harappan civilization had developed from these earlier Indus cultures. The Harappans created not just individual cities, but an entire network of urban centers spanning much of present-day Pakistan and northern India. At its height, this civilization supported 4 to 6 million people across hundreds of settlements. The crown jewel of Harappan urbanism was Mohenjo-Daro, built around 2600 BCE. With a population of at least 40,000, possibly reaching 50,000 or more, this city demonstrated urban planning that wouldn't be matched for millennia. Many residents lived in sturdy brick houses with as many as 3 floors. Some houses featured bathrooms and toilets connected to the world's first comprehensive sewer system. The sophistication of Mohenjo-Daro's infrastructure is staggering. The city contained over 700 wells, 1 well for every 3 houses, a ratio unheard of in contemporary civilizations like Egypt or Mesopotamia. The urban planning included wide main streets, smaller residential lanes, and an advanced drainage system that channeled wastewater away from living areas. Perhaps most famous is the Great Bath, a large rectangular pool lined with bitumen that may have served ritual or public bathing purposes. The Harappans even developed standardized measurement systems and their own undeciphered writing system, the Indus script. A ruler found at Mohenjo-Daro is divided into units corresponding to 34 millimeters, with decimal subdivisions accurate to within 0.13 millimeters. Another ruler from Lothal is calibrated to about 1.6 millimeters. This decimal system predates our modern metric system by over 3,000 years. What's particularly intriguing about Harappan cities is their apparent egalitarianism. Unlike Mesopotamian cities with their grand temples and palaces, Harappan settlements show remarkable uniformity in housing and few signs of extreme social stratification. This suggests these early urban dwellers developed different solutions to the challenges of city life. But why did cities emerge when they did? The answer lies in the convergence of several factors. Climate change at the end of the Ice Age created more stable, predictable weather patterns that made agriculture viable. The development of irrigation allowed communities to support larger populations in concentrated areas. Specialized labor meant some people could focus on crafts, trade, administration, or defense, while others provided food. Most importantly, cities required new forms of social organization. Living in close quarters with thousands of strangers demanded systems of law, governance, and conflict resolution that had never existed. The anonymity of urban life was both liberating and challenging. People could reinvent themselves, but they also needed new ways to establish trust and cooperation. The archaeological record shows this wasn't always smooth. Cities required massive coordinated labor for construction and maintenance. They needed systems to distribute food, manage waste, and defend against threats. They had to develop ways to integrate newcomers while maintaining social cohesion. Religion played a crucial role in early urban development. While Çatalhöyük showed little religious hierarchy, later cities developed complex temple systems. Temples weren't just places of worship. They were economic centers and administrative hubs. The ziggurats of Mesopotamian cities served as focal points for urban organization. Trade was another crucial factor. Cities couldn't be self-sufficient. They needed to exchange urban products for agricultural surplus. This trade created the world's first market economies. It led to the development of currency, commercial law, and long-distance trading networks. The emergence of writing in cities wasn't coincidental. Urban life created information management challenges that human memory couldn't handle. Writing systems emerged as practical solutions to urban administrative needs. But cities also created new forms of inequality. While early settlements like Çatalhöyük showed remarkable egalitarianism, later cities developed clear social hierarchies. Kings, priests, merchants, craftsmen, farmers, and slaves occupied different levels of urban society. Cities concentrated wealth and power in ways that smaller communities couldn't. The story of early cities isn't just one of growth and success. Many of these pioneering urban centers eventually declined or disappeared entirely. Çatalhöyük was abandoned around 5600 BCE for reasons still debated by archaeologists. The Harappan civilization collapsed around 1700 BCE, possibly due to climate change. Even mighty Uruk was completely abandoned by 700 CE. Recent archaeological discoveries are adding new chapters to this story. In 2024, laser mapping revealed massive urban complexes in Ecuador's Amazon rainforest. Archaeological work in Ukraine has uncovered what may be 6,000-year-old urban centers. At Çatalhöyük, ongoing excavations continue to reveal surprises. Recent work has uncovered a complex of buildings arranged around a courtyard, including what archaeologists call the House of the Dead. This structure is where 20 people were buried beneath the floor. Only 4% of Çatalhöyük has been excavated. Thousands of buildings remain to be explored. These discoveries remind us that the story of urban development is still being written. For decades, the narrative focused on Mesopotamia as the sole birthplace of cities. Now we understand that urbanization was a global phenomenon. Different regions developed their own solutions to the challenges of living together in large numbers. The legacy of these first cities extends far beyond their ruins. They established patterns of urban organization that persist today. Specialized districts, systems of governance, methods of waste management, approaches to defense, and ways of integrating diverse populations. The challenges they faced, housing shortages, sanitation, crime, social inequality, resource management, remain central to urban life. Most importantly, these first cities proved that humans could live together in large numbers without sacrificing individual identity.
And enough moisture is present.
Specialists could develop new technologies and arts. Cities became humanity's greatest collaborative achievement. From Jericho's first walls, to Uruk's administrative tablets, to Mohenjo-Daro's sophisticated sewers, each innovation built upon previous achievements. The agricultural revolution provided the foundation, but it was the urban revolution that truly launched human civilization into its modern trajectory. Today, More than half of humanity lives in cities, and that proportion continues to grow. The challenges we face, sustainable development, climate adaptation, social integration, technological innovation, echo those confronted by the builders of Çatalhöyük and Uruk. Their solutions may have been simpler, but their insight remains profound. Humans can achieve remarkable things when they choose to build their futures together. The rise of the first cities represents one of humanity's greatest experiments. The decision to abandon the familiar patterns of nomadic life and create something entirely new. That experiment succeeded beyond anything its pioneers could have imagined, launching a transformation that continues to shape our world today.